What's up, air signs? Aquarius just popped out at me, so that tells me that I need to start with you guys. Air signs, we're starting off with Eros. Eroticism, desire, sex. We're starting off with sextile, harmony, ease, compatibility. And we've got Libra, diplomatic, harmony, and balance. So these are your 3 starting cards, air signs. And today's spread is going to be 4 questions. The first is, where have you been? Ooh, okay. We got where have you been? We're also going to be asking, what's the lesson that you've learned where you've been? So wherever you've been, what is the lesson that you've learned? Where are you going? No. What is the lesson you're currently learning? Here we go. All right, and then where are you going? Air signs. This one wants to pop out. Let's take that one. Ooh, okay. So much big Aquarius energy today. Happy Gemini season. Gemini season is accompanied by curiosity, socializing, conversation, maybe a little gossip, a little drama, especially because Venus is also in Leo. But let's get into your spread. So for where you've been, you have the Knight of Swords, Judgment, and the Queen of Pentacles. So there was some like hasty, fast-moving event that moved you into a place where you needed to evaluate how you celebrate yourself and how you show up for yourself. So there was some hasty event in your life that brought you to like the close of one mode of existing and challenged you to really basically bury the old version of yourself. And what I mean by that is any slough off any negative and karmic old behaviors and beliefs that are no longer serving you, because a new life is available for you. But what you need to do is nurture yourself and nurture what you invest, which is your time, your attention, your energy, and your money. Those things need to be nurtured in order for you to kind of step into this new life that's available for you. So that's where you've been. The lesson that you learned is to slow down, okay? Slow down and trust yourself. Before you make an investment, air signs, sorry, I dropped that. Before you make an investment, you need to slow down. As you can see, the Knight of Pentacles, her horse is not moving because she's wise and she knows that my horse doesn't always need to be in motion for me to get where I'm going. It's okay for me to pause and think, is this a worthy investment? Is this really going where I want for it to go? Is this reaping the rewards that I desire? And she also still trusts herself. So the lesson that you have learned is that when you trust yourself and when you take risks, it's important and okay to slow down while you make those decisions, all right? Look at how the Fool's hand is kind of like reaching toward, just kidding, that's not, she's facing the pentacle. So she's not just trusting herself, but she's also trusting that she's making a worthy investment, okay? And that's partially, very likely, because she took her time to evaluate and assess what she's investing, where it's going, whether or not the return is satisfactory for her. And now, even though she may have slipped up in the past, or maybe she suffered loss in the past, because she is the Fool, she is going to learn through making mistakes. She now has the wisdom of the Knight. So now she's able to move forward and feel confident in her investments and not so foolish. So congratulations, air signs. I'm proud of you for learning that lesson. The lesson you're currently learning, you've got the 3 of Pentacles, which is about quality, collaboration, original, high quality, authentic work. You've got the 5 of Pentacles, which is about being left out in the cold and suffering loss, whether it was material, whether it may have been financial, whether it may have been a connection, maybe someone, a person or a group of people may have disappointed you or left you out in the cold. And then you also have the 6 of Pentacles, air signs. And this, I smile when I see this because this is a blessing from the universe. So because all 3 of these cards are pentacles, this is giving like a financial or some sort of like material investment. Maybe it has to do with your home. Maybe it has to do with your friend group, because humans are also material. We're part of the physical world. But because it's all pentacles, I'm leaning more toward finances. So you've been taking time to like collaborate, and or perhaps you made a collaborative investment that didn't work out the way you were hoping for it to. So the investment that you made ended up making you feel like left out in the cold, as though someone like took your wisdom or your knowledge or your investment, that pentacle, right? That pentacle that the knight is holding, perhaps someone took that, and because you weren't thoughtful about where the investment was going, it left you out in the cold. This may not resonate for everyone. Maybe you applied for a job and the job didn't get back to you. But this may not resonate for everyone, but because it is, because there are multiple people, it could just have to do with you investing in a situation where others were either dependent on you or you were depending on others, and it didn't work out the way that you were hoping for. So I'm really sorry for you that has been your experience, air signs, but there's a blessing from the universe on its way. So the universe knows the balance between emotion and passion, and the universe knows when it's time for certain people to receive and for others to receive. So right now it's your turn, air signs, and that is the lesson that you're currently learning. You're learning how to collaborate and build quality investments and make sure that the people that are receiving your investments actually really truly value the work that you put in. And also you're learning how to recuperate after being left out in the cold, and how to make sure that this kind of outcome doesn't happen to you again. And you're also learning how to exist with open hands. One of the things about Gemini season for me personally, I have a Gemini rising, so everything that has to do with my identity, my sense of self, it's all extra activated during Gemini season. But because Gemini rules the nervous system and it's the symbol of twins, there's always tends to be like a lot going on, which manifests for me as a active, sometimes overly active nervous system. And I'm overthinking, I'm overanalyzing, and these are all like the lower polarity Gemini traits that we all know of. But that can also manifest in other people, even if you don't have Gemini rising or prominent Gemini placements. The season itself can feel that way. So at this time, the lesson that you're learning is how to calm your nervous system, exist with open hands, allow what needs to leave to go, and allow what wants to come, the positive things that want to come, to stay. And you're also learning how not to grasp or grip onto things, because you don't need to do that for them to stay in your hands. All you need to do is keep open hands. All right? Where you're headed, air signs, is the star. The star is a symbol of healing. The star can also indicate innovation. It's Aquarius energy. So you're learning how to build new systems, new thought patterns, new tools for healing yourself, but also for sustaining yourself in the future. The star being Aquarius energy is also because Aquarius is the water bearer, excuse me. So she is the water bearer, and she actually she created the gourd that brings the water from collective consciousness, or from the collective watering hole. She's bringing the water now back to her village, and she's also spilling some out onto the ground so that new ideas, new innovation, new creativity can nourish the land and also nourish the people for whom she's bringing this water back for. So if you're creating something new for yourself that perhaps only you see the vision, perhaps only you and like a few others, a small group of people can like understand or relate to what you're doing, don't let that discourage you, air signs, because that is what you do. Air signs bring the fresh air, you bring the fresh ideas. You are the creators, you're the trendsetters. So make sure that you stay focused on whatever you're building. I'm just gonna get one clarification card. The Queen of Swords. So you're seeing clearly now. You're seeing clearly. As you can see, the Queen of Swords has clouds only halfway above her body. They're no longer above her head, so she can see now what she needs to do. Her hand is again open, and in her other hand is a sword, so she can cut away any BS or fluff that doesn't belong. And with that knowledge and that wisdom and that not only emotional intelligence, but also kind of like lack of fear here. You're able to really build and heal for yourself, and also to provide a better future for your community, because Aquarius is the innovator, the forward thinker. So love on an Aquarius this air sign season. Just to go back to the starting cards that were pulled, Eros, Sextile, and Libra, perhaps these things were also, perhaps you're bringing balance to the way you offer, trying to keep it PG. You're bringing balance, diplomacy, and harmony to the way you offer physical affection. You're bringing more ease to relationships, specifically intimate relationships, and you are allowing compatibility to take its own course without forcing things. So I think this is a lovely reading for you, air signs, and I wish you the absolute best. Happy Gemini season. The water signs. Happy Gemini season. Venus is in Leo, meaning we're feeling a little bit extra dramatic, feeling a little bit extra expressive, a little bit extra aware of ourselves. So our reading today, your spread is going to be 4 questions. First, we're going to be talking about where have you been? So what is the part of life that you've completed already? We're going to talk about what is the lesson you've learned. We're also going to talk about what is the lesson that you're currently learning. And finally, where are you headed? All right. So to start us off, I've pulled 3 astrology alignment cards. The first we have is Lilith, which symbolizes power, activism, and vengeance. Okay. Already a lot going on, water signs. We also pulled first house, which is self, body, and presence. And then we have cusp, which is about transition, luminality, and twilight. All right. So cusp, that's interesting. Cusp is kind of, the word that comes to mind is like threshold, right? Right, the liminal space between one place and another. So right on the cusp there. All right, so let's take a look at this spread. So water signs, where you've been is the 6 of Swords. So you have just finished crossing the choppy waters, so to speak, from a situation. I'm getting that this situation required you to leave behind a past that you knew very well, that was comfortable for you. With that past, you also needed to leave behind materials, ways of thinking, relationships. You may have even experienced some financial loss because of having to leave this, whatever this past situation was, behind you. However, you left with the things that most mattered to you. You were able to leave with more positive mindset. You were able to leave with more personal empowerment is what I'm getting. And it also seems like you are still maybe in that space of transition, but it's because you're getting comfortable in the new space that you've transitioned to, not because you're still trying to leave the past behind you. However, perhaps for some of you there is that situation, because you did get the cusp card, which is about twilight, liminality, transition, right? So perhaps you're still kind of in the sauce of transition, if you will. Like the meat is back there, but you still have a little sauce lingering, and you're still crossing the choppy waters that are indicated on the 6 of Swords here. So that is where you've been, water signs. You may want to watch the air signs reading, because maybe there's something relatable there for you. The lesson that you've learned, water signs. There's a lesson that you've learned, and it has to do either with love and partnership or with love of yourself and new ideas. So perhaps your approach to love in the past was one that was not healthy or sustainable for you, water signs. Perhaps your view of love made you feel as though it's necessary to merge completely or lose yourself in a partnership, or overgive, overlove. These are all the lower polarity water sign traits that we're aware of. And now, because you've crossed the choppy waters indicated by the Six of Swords, now you have new ideas. And the lesson that you learned was kind of replacing those old ideas with new ideas, new thoughts, new imagination, new ambitions, new desires, especially because you have that power and activism with the Lilith card, and the self, body, and presence with the first house card. All right. So I think what I'm getting is that the lesson you've learned is really thinking about your own self more like this. You're thinking about yourself in duality. You're thinking about yourself in terms of accepting all sides of you and learning from the sides of you that don't always necessarily show. Perhaps there's also a little bit of integration happening in the way that you see yourself and the way that you see relationships, because these new ideas here, as you can see, the Page of Swords is looking at the lovers, and it seems like you've spent a lot of time like ruminating on what love means to you, what connection and partnership mean to you, and this time spent really evaluating and assessing your personal definitions and your personal desires in this thought sphere, based on the time that you've spent thinking about love, partnership, and relationships has really helped you learn a valuable lesson about the way you see yourself, and also about the way that you recall power back to yourself. Right now we have Pluto and Capricorn. Pluto recently went back into Capricorn, I want to say last week, or at the end of last week. And it seems as though that transition back into Capricorn is allowing us to call back to ourselves power that we may have overgiven or given without necessarily knowing the consequences. As water signs, we are definitely guilty of overloving sometimes. And so the time that you've spent thinking about love is what is helping you recall that power back to yourself. So congratulations if that is what you're experiencing, because it's definitely not an easy journey. So the lesson that you are currently learning, I love this. The lesson you're currently learning is the Page of Wands. She is the messenger of passion. She brings the message of passion, and she expresses herself passionately with fervor, and she really goes after what she wants. So you're learning how to balance this passionate desiring communication with the way that you value your emotions. The Queen of Cups values nothing more than her emotions. She knows that no matter what she invests in, she's going to receive emotional fulfillment from it, because she only makes investments that are worthy of her and also that fulfill her emotionally. The cup that she's holding, she's really looking at it, gazing into it, nurturing her ideas of what she is worthy of. And then she sits on a throne with her fishtail, so she's fully herself. I believe she's the only figure in the court cards who doesn't have actual feet. She has a tail because she's fully embodied in her emotions authentically, and also in the fact that she values her emotions so much that she's willing to completely be in them and never hide how she really feels from anyone. So you're learning how to balance the passion and desire with the emotional intelligence and personal value. So this is the lesson that you're currently learning. Where you're headed is the Hermit. The Hermit is Virgo energy, so Virgo pays lots of attention to detail. The Hermit also diagnoses with the intention of healing. So right now you may be feeling a little bit, or right now or in the near future, you may be feeling a bit withdrawn or reserved. You may want to go inward, go within to really check on yourself, nurture yourself, give the love that you so effortlessly give to others back to yourself. Because now that you've recalled and reclaimed all of that power, there is part of you inside that really wants to feel all the love that you've given everyone else over the years. How often do you give that to yourself, water signs? I really want you to think about that and try to give yourself a little bit more when you can. Now, as you're on this journey, remember that the Hermit is focused on this light and receiving a lot of comfort, energy, and into what's the word? Comfort, energy, and intellectual stimulation from this light. But she needs to shine her light out into the world. She can't just stand on this mountain and keep her light to herself. The more that she is pensive, the more that she's thoughtful, the more that she explores the wisdom that she has within, the brighter this light shines. And if she doesn't shine it out into the earth, it just becomes wasted energy. And that's devil card energy. So as you're on this journey of self-discovery, shout out to Dosevia, I would love for you to think about what kind of light do you want to share with the world after this experience of going within and spending time with yourself. The Hermit is a very studious character in the tarot, so make sure that you study yourself, give yourself time. There is absolutely no rush, especially not in love. You need to value your emotions, value where you invest them, and value yourself, because without you doing that, no one else possibly can. All right? Happy Gemini season, water signs. We got this. Fire signs. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Gemini season. Happy Venus in Leo season. Venus is in the fire right now, so fire signs, you are probably feeling that. Ooh, okay. And just like a burst of fire, the first two cards have popped out at me. So we got Neptune and second house. So Neptune is about mysticism, spirituality, and escapism. And the second house is about finances, value, and possessions. So take a look at these, Neptune and second house here. So again, mysticism, spirituality, and escapism, and finances, value, and possessions. Those are your two starting cards, fire signs. For today's spread, we are going to be looking at 4 questions. That was a little itchy. For your spread today, we're going to be looking at 4 questions. The first one is, where have you been? So what part of life's journey have you completed up until this point? Where have fire signs been up until this point? Ooh, okay. There we go. Where have fire signs been? What lesson have fire signs learned? Thank you. Next question is, what is the lesson that fire signs are currently learning? All right. And then last but not least, where are fire signs headed? So what is the next part of life's journey that fire signs can expect to experience? Please don't forget to check the element for your sun, moon, and or rising if you're interested, because there's probably a message there for you as well. So fire signs. Ooh, okay. All right, we got quite a few cards for you in this last section, so I'm excited to do this reading for you. So where you've been is the King of Pentacles. You've been in a space where you have been budgeting your time, your money, your attention, your energy. You've been budgeting this in a way that allows you to feel stable and secure. Maybe you've been doing a really good job of balancing your finances, your value of possessions, and your possessions since that second house card came up. But perhaps you've also been doing things the same way you've always done them and hoping for a different result. And the reason that I say that, that I'm interpreting this card this way, is because you did get the Neptune card, which is about illusion, escapism, mysticism, right? So maybe the way that you see the King of Pentacles, her eyes are like either looking down at the pentacle or they could be closed on the pentacle. Perhaps you haven't been paying as much attention to your finances, values, and possessions as you could be. So it's really up to you. However, take it as it resonates for you. If you feel that you've been doing an amazing job of like budgeting and valuing your material possessions, then I love to see it. And if not, this is where you've been, so now is a great time to change that behavior, or perhaps you're coming out of that behavior and becoming more into the king energy of knowing how to spend, how to preserve, how to save. And I'm not just talking about money here. It could be any possession or something that you value. It could be your love, it could be your energy, your time, your words. All right. So fire signs, this is where you've been. If you've been on the higher polarity of this King of Pentacles here, you're probably in a great space, starting the summer off with a little more coin in your pocket. Perhaps you're starting to see some of the fruits of seeds that you've planted, or at least some leaves starting to sprout from any investments that you've made in the past. So congratulations and kudos to you if that is the case. If you've changed any habits that have to do with your finances and your abundance, that's also amazing, and I truly, truly wish you the best, and I hope that you begin to see fruits of that labor as well very soon. So the lesson that you've learned is the Six of Pentacles. Perhaps you've learned how to be a better and more thoughtful spender of your money. The Six of Pentacles can also represent a blessing from the universe, a material blessing that we didn't necessarily work for. So perhaps you're learning the lesson of how to receive blessings, fire signs. It could be that you maybe tend to blaze through money a little, a little more quickly than is healthy or than you'd like to. But it also could be that you're just maybe a little too generous and that you needed to learn how to preserve the abundance that comes to you so that you can apply it in ways and spaces and places and with people that make you feel fulfilled, that make you feel smart, and that make you feel like the King of Pentacles. So budgeting and being resourceful could have been a lesson that you've learned recently, and that is just amazing. If this is a blessing that you asked for, it could be that you are in a very powerful stage of manifestation at this time, and perhaps you recently became aware of it. I don't know if you guys can hear, but there's a baby screaming in the back. So perhaps even the Six of Pentacles could have been the birth of a new loved one, and if that's the case, congratulations. Many, many congrats to you. The lesson that you are currently learning is the Ace of Swords. So this is about truth. It's about, could be a hard truth. It's also about acceptance, accepting reality for what it is, cutting away at any fluff, any BS, any smoke and mirrors, using that sword of truth to cut out any things that are draining of your finances, draining of your time, energy, attention, and money. And this is the lesson that you're currently learning. So this tarot card always also represents to me like a yes. So this indicating a yes could also mean that perhaps you have been ruminating on something, or you've been overthinking, overanalyzing something, or maybe you've just been wondering about something. And so the Ace of Swords can represent a yes to any mental or intellectual questions that you may have been pondering lately, or any mental or intellectual quests that come up in your journey, because this is the lesson that you're currently learning. Now, in the area of where you're headed, you are so full of passion, fire signs. You're showing up everywhere. I've pulled 4 cards for this placement. The first 2 are the Nine of Cups, which means wish fulfillment, and the Two of Wands, which is about planning related to your passion. So something that you're deciding to do, or something that you have been wanting to do in the world, is going to bring you so much emotional fulfillment. If you've been sitting on an idea, fire signs, or if you've been hesitating to like do something that you know is going to change your life, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Now is your time. Because the other 2 cards that I pulled are the Six of Wands, which is all about fame, recognition, victory, and the Ace of Wands. Remember, I said the ace typically to me represents a yes. Well, you have 2 aces here. So the lesson that you're learning and the journey that you're on are both telling you yes. They're both telling you yes, okay? Even the baby's telling you yes. So what are you waiting for, fire signs? Don't allow anything that don't allow thinking that you don't have the financial resources or the time, attention, energy, or money or the support. Don't allow thinking that you don't have that to prevent you from going out into the world, okay? Yes, you have achieved something amazing, absolutely. That doesn't mean you stop though. That means you get back out there in that water and you create, okay? The Ace of Wands represents it's like when you plant a seed and the first root that goes down and grips the soil. That is the Ace of Wands. So something that you're planning on doing is going to take root and it's going to bring you so much victory and joy and recognition. She went out there with her wand and she got the wreath. She doesn't just have a couple leaves on her wand, she has the whole wreath. So this is what's in your future, fire signs, as long as you follow your heart and your passion and move sustainably. Move with the intention and the knowledge that when you invest your finances and your value and your possessions into what really brings you passion and fulfillment, these are these are the outcomes, okay? Complete and total wish fulfillment, all right? So make sure that you tap into those creative resources and be patient because your blessing is coming. I love to be the bearer of good news, fire signs. Happy Gemini season. What's up, lovely earth signs? It is your time. We got waxing crescent moon for you, which is about focus, conceptualization, and strategy. All right? And then we also have water, which is a refreshing, refreshing, mysterious, and fluid. So you got waxing crescent moon and water as your beginning cards, your starting energy. So something about your focus, conceptualization, and strategy is flowing right in a refreshing way, perhaps in a way that isn't always easy to interpret or understand because water is mysterious. This is for my earth signs, my Virgo, Capricorn, and my Taurus. Okay, so earth signs. This reading is for you. Earth signs. Where you've been is the Six of Swords. You have crossed the choppy waters, so to speak. You've let go of limiting beliefs and you've trusted that the knowledge and intelligence that you've gained over the years can guide you to feeling more confident, more respectful and respected, more powerful, and more action-oriented. And that is indicated by the Six of Swords and the Emperor. So this is where you've been. The story of this woman and this child on the Six of Swords is that they were left out in the cold. And they had to leave everything that they know behind them and cross these choppy waters, indicated by these waves here. They had to cross these choppy waters with nothing but the clothing on their back and someone whom they can trust. So there's been something that you have had to leave in the past in order to become this like boss bad bitch that the Emperor is. The Emperor is Aries energy, and perhaps there's something in you that has felt like a spark because you are no longer in the same mental space that you used to be. The lesson you've learned is going inward and finding answers there. You have become someone who is introspective, and you've allowed yourself to really evaluate what you need from situations that require your investment, situations that require your focus, your strategy, and your creativity. And you're allowing your inner light to kind of shine now because you've been able to cross those choppy waters, cross that mysterious and sometimes murky water of the unknown or of mental doubt. And the reason that I say that is because the hermit is someone who is very studious, very inwardly focused. And they focus inward because they know that the more that they analyze, this is Virgo energy, the more that they analyze and diagnose what's within, the brighter this light can shine, and the more that they can be their authentic self. It not only heals them, but also heals the collective, the people who can see their light. So this is the lesson you've learned, and I just think that's so beautiful for you, Earth signs. The lesson that you're currently learning, air signs, is the Chariot and the Two of Wands. So you're learning how to take the reins of your life, and when you're ready to move, when you make the decision to move, you're learning how to trust yourself and know that your passion and your desire, your body and your mind, the physical realm and the spirit realm, trusting this balance is what moves your chariot into the world that allows you to create and allows you to feel fulfilled. So that is the current lesson that you're on and the path that you're on. The only advice that I have for you is to really just trust yourself. You've already done the work. Now all you need to do is take the action. And finally, where you're headed is a high quality collaboration in love. So you're choosing a lover that makes you feel like a high quality collaboration, and building something that lasts. So I'm not going to say too much more about that because you did get the water. It's refreshing, but it is still mysterious and fluid. So we're going to see how things play out, Earth signs. Happy Gemini season, and I wish you the absolute best of luck.